In this chapter, you're going to learn new iteration features and concepts in ES6, as well as new data structures, which will make your JavaScript experience a lot easier. So first, let's start with a new loop in ES6, which is the for/of loop. So first, let's go back to our traditional for loop and build a simple example where you just have a simple loop going from 0 to 2 and printing I to the console. So this is a simple loop, all right? Now, we know that we had features which could be used with the for loop, like the break feature. So for example, you can decide to break if a certain condition is fulfilled. So for example, if I is equal to 1, you can decide to break, and this will stop the loop. So you can see that this new loop starts, prints 0, and then once I is equal to 1, it breaks and the loop just ends or stops. All right. You must be also familiar with the for each method, which is used with arrays. So let's create an array car makes. So for instance, let's have Audi, BMW, and Ford. And let's say that we're going to loop through the array using for each, to which we're going to pass a function. So you can use an arrow function or a traditional function. So let's go for an arrow function. So let's pass to the function a couple of elements. The element, all right, and the index. So if you pass only one value, then it's going to refer to the value of the element. If you pass a second parameter, then it's going to refer to the index of that element, right? So let's say that our function is just going to log something to the console. So let's log something like, let's use string literals or template literals, and let's say that's the make. We're gonna have make number 1, 2, and so on. So that number is going to be the index plus 1. All right, and then let's have colon, and then after that we're gonna have the name of the make, which is the element variable, like that. All right, so let's try this, and you can see that our loop is working as expected. All right, so now we can see that we've got a choice between using a simple for loop or for each when it comes to arrays. Now let's move to ES6's for/of loop. So you'd use the for/of loop to loop over an array. So let's build an example using our car makes array. So the syntax is pretty simple. It's going to be for, and then inside parentheses, you're going to specify the name of the variable which will refer to the elements of the array. So let's call it x, for example. So I'm using const here because x is not going to change, right? So usually when you use for, you use const to declare the iterator or the variable referring to the elements inside the array. So for const x of our array, let's say that we're just going to print x. Here we go. It works as expected, right? You can also break at some points like we did there. So you can decide to break if the value of x is BMW, for example. And now you can see that you started the loop, you printed Audi, and once you got there, the condition is fulfilled to break, and you're going to stop the loop right there. That's why you see only Audi. All right. In the next video, you're going to learn a new ES6 concept, which is called the iterator.